Boom! Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru, wishing you a happy Thursday morning. If you like, subscribe, give it a like. Today we're going to start on Thursdays. Thursdays, we're going to start a new series because, wait a second, wait a second, by far the best beard on YouTube. All right. Thursday, we're going to have a new series where this is why when I watch a game, especially college football, I watch it differently than the average fan. I pretty much have it's very, very, very early. So we're gonna switch it up a little bit throughout the year, but we have from now until April. I pretty much have an idea of my top 20 running backs so far. But there's probably going to be another 5 to 10 that we're going to interchange with them. But the long story short is when I see a successful running back on a team, I'm not just looking at him, I'm looking at his offensive lineman. Because let's be honest, man, you can't run if the holes aren't there. I don't care who you are. So we're going to start the series off. I got my 20 running backs down already, but it's going to switch around. Today, we're just going to start off with Kyle Monangai's offensive line. Kyle Monangai plays for Rutgers. So today is going to be Rutgers' offensive line we're going to go over. And today marks 309 players dropped already because I could say 310, but I've given you Holland Pierce already. So we're going to start at left tackle. Holland Pierce was a 6'8", 450-pound walk-on at Rutgers. And they just looked at him and was like, yo, we got to give this kid a shot. Worked his way on, got a full scholarship. He started at right tackle. He's been at left tackle the last 2 years. I've said it before. I said this back in May. Some offensive line coach in the NFL is going to look at this kid and say, yo, I can make something out of him. I could be a big ball of clay. And people that big, they just don't, you don't just find them every single day. In my opinion, he'll be a right tackle in the NFL. And to be honest with you, if that don't work out, I throw him inside to guard. I will not give up on a person like that until if he can't play left tackle, if he can't play right tackle in the NFL, I'll slide him into right guard. But I think that would be the plan with him in the NFL, would be to switch him over to the right side. And ironically, that's what they did with Anthony Davis like over a decade ago, who was a Rutgers player, and San Francisco 49ers drafted him. I'm pretty sure he played right tackle for San Fran. Not 100% sure. All right. Now we're going to go down to Rutgers center. Gus Zelenkas, 6'2", 310. I do like my centers a little bit bigger, but he's getting the job done. Last year, Kyle Monangai led the Big Ten in rushing. And look at the year he's having this year. So, do I like my centers bigger? Yes. But as long as you were a wrestler in high school and you're a technician, you can be the least athletic offensive lineman on all 5 spots, and you can play center. You have to have it up here to call out the blocking schemes and switch things up. And this is not only me saying it. You can look up some plenty offensive line gurus and all pros who played in the NFL for 12 years plus and future Hall of Famers have also said this. You can put the most least athletic person in the middle, but he has to have the brains. The reason you could put him in the middle is because he has two goon. He has a goon on each side of him. He has a giant left guard. Usually the right guard's bigger, but also a goon on the left side. So you can hide your least athletic player inside. Am I saying this kid is? No, I'm not at all. But you also, I do like my centers much bigger, 6'5", 300. But you can get away with being a much smaller player at center. Look what Tyler Linderbaum has done so far with the Ravens. And everybody was hating on him because of his size. How is he looking now? Their next tackle. Also, another thing I want to say about these offensive linemen, a couple of them are Jersey kids, but majority of them, they've all been at Rutgers like for the last 4 or 5 years. They've all been on the team. Not many guys have come transferred in, like we've seen with a lot of other college teams with the transfer portal, how way it's been. And like I said it before, I'll say it again. For a good offensive line to play, you have to have cohesiveness. It takes a while for an offensive line, a young offensive line, to play good. But you have to know what every other player is doing. And, if you've had the same playbook for the last 3, 4 years, it's pretty simple. But now when you got kids transferring left and right, left with every semester you have a new kid, you think he's gonna know. I mean, the kid probably has 37 playbooks in his head already. He's not gonna be 100% accurate. So when you have kids that know exactly what they're doing at every single play, it helps them, it gives them an advantage over transfers that are going in and out that don't know the playbook just as good. Next kid is Tyler Needbaum, 6'4", 305, offensive tackle. He's a right tackle, this kid. He was starting in 2023. He was having a good year, and then he broke his ankle. So he started like 6 games in 2023, broke his ankle, had to sit out the rest of the year, and this year he's made a successful comeback, and he's the right tackle for Rutgers. 6'4", 305. At the next level, somebody like this is gonna get thrown inside. He's not going to be playing offensive tackle in the NFL at that size. Now, listen, am I saying all of these guys are NFL prospects? I know Holland Pierce is 110% is. But getting back to what I said early, when you see a good running back, I look at the offensive line because he's not running through his own holes. So these kids can handle themselves. Maybe one might make it to the NFL. Maybe two. Maybe some might try the USFL or XFL or whatever. Next kid is Brandon Felter, guard, local kid too. Bergen Catholic High School, 6'3", 305. It's amazing how many kids from Jersey are on Rutgers. And if Jersey could ever keep all of their recruits home every single year, they would be in the top 10 every year. Everybody talks about Florida. Everybody talks about Texas. Everyone talks about California. And I get it, people. Look at the size of those states. Look at the size of those states. Take a look at the recruits that come out of little tiny New Jersey. And like I said this before, I'll put four high schools in New Jersey up against any high school in the United States. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm going to tell you it's going to be a close game. Except when a few years ago, Bergen Catholic played Mater Dei out in California, and they got blown out. But they've had up and down years. So this kid Brian Felter, he's a guard, 6'3", 305. He gets by. He's more of a technician than a goon, a straight goon. But hey, if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. Not everyone is built 6'5", 300 pounds. But Rutgers is playing in the Big Ten, and these guys are pushing big, ugly defensive linemen out of the way for their running back to have a successful. And Kyle Monangai has been successful since he first came to Rutgers, and he started as a true freshman kid. The next guard, the last guard, I'm gonna butcher this kid's name, man. I feel sorry for this kid when he was in kindergarten having to spell his name and say it out loud. I don't even know where to start. Guwaka Simone. Say that 10 times fast. 6'3", 330. Last year in 2023, he appeared in all 12 games and he had 5 starts. And this year, he's starting already. He's more of a strong side guard. He has more girth to him. He is somebody that will get invited to a camp as a tryout. You know what I'm trying to say? Could he make a practice squad? It's possible, like I said. But for what I know for sure, Holland Pierce is definitely an NFL recruit. But ironically, and I'm not a stats person, bro. I'm really, really not. But they have Rutgers offensive line ranked #1 in the Big Ten. But that means absolutely nothing because we're like 4 or 5 weeks in already. So this is going to be a weekly series, bro. We have so many weeks, man, from now until April. So, like next week, we'll probably do Penn State. Then we'll go Ohio State. We got California. We'll do Miami. And some names might be familiar because I've given you a lot of offensive linemen. We got Gentry from Boise State. O'Hampton from North Carolina, even though he's having a down year, his O-line must suck. Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State. There'll be at least 20 of these, maybe probably more every Thursday. Just could be a weekly series about offensive linemen, and it's a way for me to give you out more content and to go over more people. And like I said, man, I don't care who you are, man. You're not running if there's no holes. So also too, like when I watched, like I said, when I watch a game and I see a running back doing great, I'm watching the offensive linemen. I'm watching the guards. I'm watching the centers. I'm watching the tackles. That's the way I watch football. Like I said, I watch football a little bit different than other people do. So let's see. Later on tonight, I'm probably gonna, just because I did it already, I'm probably gonna drop about 10 more prospects. Actually, nine to 10. 10 more, maybe probably 9 to 10 more prospects later on. And then we should be at like 320 by the end of today. And then tomorrow, we're just going to go over some more games Saturday and probably don't expect nothing. I'll probably do a podcast Friday night, fifth quarter Cowboys, and probably jumping on a podcast, Cowboys Corner Saturday night. So don't really expect any videos unless I see something crazy Saturday or Sunday. Usually by Sunday, I'm pretty burnt out, and I get to watch Dallas get their asses kicked, excuse my language, Sunday night against Pittsburgh. But like I said, this will be a weekly series. So next week, listen, we'll get the easy ones out of the way. I'll do Penn State. I'll make a list, but expect to see about 25 of these, possibly 30 from now until April. Because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Over and out, everybody.